Assalamualaikum and a warm hello to all viewers and listeners. Welcome to Fireside Chat with sinardaily. I'm your host Sharifah Shaira, and today we're joined by a very special guest. I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard or know this gentleman. He's a talented singer, a famous actor, and amazing host. Not only does he speak well, but he also a truly inspiring personality. My absolute pleasure to welcome Muhammad Alif Muhammad Satar, or also known as Alif Satar. Alif, thank you so much
Yes,
for joining us today. It's really an honor for us to have
Alhamdulillah.
you in this today's episode. But before we dive in into today's topic, I would
Yeah,
love for our audience to get to know you a little bit better. So,
yeah.
Mr. Alif, can you share a bit about yourself to everyone who's tuning in today?
Assalamualaikum to the brothers and sisters who's watching right now. Thanks again for having me on the show. Alhamdulillah, it's an absolute pleasure. And thank you for the really inspiring and warm intro. Now you just made me nervous. I'm Alif Satar. I'm a father of three. I've been in the industry for close about 20 years now. Started singing first when I was 16 years old. Worked my way up from singing and then I've been trying a little bit of TV hosting and acting. And at the current moment right now, a few businesses that I've been doing at the same time, and really passionate about sports as well. So, but most importantly, I found myself in a big responsibility also as a public figure to also spread the word of positivity, awareness, and togetherness to all Malaysians, especially the youth.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ali, for sharing that. So, for today, we'll be discussing a variety of topics that are very close to
Yeah.
our hearts. So, we'll begin with family planning.
Mm-hmm.
So, while often overlooked in everyday conversation,
Mm-hmm.
planning for the future, especially when it comes to managing family wealth, plays a vital role in preserving harmony among loved ones and also safeguarding their well-being after we are no longer around.
Yes.
Yet, the concept of legacy planning remains unfamiliar to many Malaysians. For some, it can be a confusing, also overwhelming process. For others, it's something that get pushed aside
Yeah.
despite its significance in securing a stable future for their children. So, Mr. Ali, perhaps you could share your thoughts on this, as you are not just known for your talent on screen and stage, but
Uh-huh.
also a devoted husband and also father. How has becoming a parent changed the way you think about the future, especially when it comes to providing to you and your family?
Of course, as a husband and the leader, as the qawwam of the provider of the family, of course, every single time you step out of the house, you are motivated. Um, you know exactly why you're doing this, for who, and you have a certain goal, mission that you want to achieve in life. Let it be whether it's the financial goal, whether it's a personal goal, a family goal, And yes, everything comes, and you have to start with a plan. You don't just one day wake up out of bed and say that I'm just going to get married and take just go where life takes me. You just have to take control, and you got to know where you're heading. And mm for me, I got married at a very young age when I was 24 years old. At the time, I was already working. Perhaps I wasn't as busy or as successful as I am now, but I knew what I was getting myself into, and it's not a settling down. People say that when you get married, you settle down. It's definitely a misconception altogether. It's an upgrade, and it's a whole different adventure. It's a new phase of life that you are sharing a life together. You're planning a life together. You're going to have children, and your children is going to have their own lives one day. So every single thing that I do, I always have family at the back of my head. Is it going to be good for me? Is it going to be good for my family? Before I do something, before I take on a job, how far or how long am I going to be away from the family? And when I'm away, are my family going to be taken care of? Is everything going to be good for them? So you plan it, with your spouse, with your wife, with the family. You get advice, and for me, right now, I'm at a phase where you want to tell people that that you have to start early. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Nothing is promised to you. I could be walking tomorrow, today, tomorrow, something bad is going to happen to you. And what happens then? How do you go to work? How do you make money? How do you get income for your family, for their future? If your wife is no longer working, if something happens to you, does she have to go back to work? Or what's going to happen to the kids' future? Do they have to sacrifice their education? So every single thing that you do, you have to calculate it, you know. And some people, and the majority of the youth right now, they think that, you know, protecting yourself, getting a plan, an insurance for coverage for your health is is a luxury. They think that it is a luxury, but it is actually far from it. It's actually something responsible. You know, it's your responsibility to yourself, to your family, and it has to start now. You have to start it at a very, very young age. Um, I've been telling people that it's not necessarily for uh, the big time earners. You know, there's a plan as low as RM6 that you plan now, and that will give you a 500,000 coverage, 500,000 ringgit coverage in case of death. You know, so to say that they can't afford is quite nonsense. And so I think even though in this digital world, you know, people sell things online on so many social platforms, there's so many stream of income that you can make, and you can work for you to get RM6 a month for your future, for your kids' future, for your wife. I think is RM6 too much for you? You know, it makes you think. Being a public figure now, you want people to, you want to share your journey, tell your story, and hopefully people will recognize that and say that, okay, I want to start planning. I just want to do like how how Alif does it. And we see so many stories in the media right now, families, broken families after death, um, nothing to hold on to, you know, house being taken away, with debts and whatever. Um, and most importantly, health, you know, when you are working and then suddenly your health deteriorates, something happens to you, then you cannot provide for your family. So you have to take that in consideration whenever you do something, you know. So we want to encourage people to do the right thing. So here at Sun Life Malaysia, as the ambassador, we want to encourage that and tell people to start small. And eventually, when they start working and they are more motivated, then they can increase more, and then prepare yourself for the future.
Right. So, as for you, Mr. Alif, what does legacy mean to you? And not just in terms of money and also material
Yes.
things, but as a father, as a son, and also a public figure.
Of course, the legacy is very subjective. You know, your name could be a legacy. Um, my gengsubuhmacamjumaat could be a legacy. It doesn't have to be my own, but people can take it up and carry it forward for the next 100 years. The moments that you share with your family is a legacy, and the knowledge that you pour onto your children, the moments that the experience you share together, that is as well also a legacy. Um, but I think on this topic of being a family and a legacy, your family is your best investment. I always get that. I talk to my parents, you know, whether I would ask like, what is a good investment, or what should I do, what do I invest into, why do I do this, or should I do that? And my parents would say, your children, your kids, and your family is your best investment. So what are you doing to protect it, to keep it well, you know? As a Muslim, as a father, you have your faith that you hold on to, about risk. At the same time, you have your effort and the means that God gives you, so for you to provide for your family and make sure that even after you are long gone, they will be taken care of. That's the legacy that I want, you know. Um, I guess to tell my children to stay disciplined, to be kind to people, to always take care and put family first. That's the legacy I want. Um, and whatever that I work now and protect, what I invest today is the momentum that I know, inshallah, will provide them uh, for their life in the future, inshallah.
So we don't often like hear young Malaysian talking openly about legacy planning. So what do you think is topic that people tend to shy away from, and what got you thinking about it more seriously?
I think, especially when you talk about financial planning, about insurance, about coverage, people have this stigma of, oh, it's always negative. You always have one friend that say, oh, come out, let me speak to you tonight. You can bring two of your friends, and or it doesn't matter if you take it or not. And then it ends up being something very, people think is negative until something negative happens to them, and then they'll say, "Oh, I should have done something." Um, I always listen and hear that the youth right now, they think that um, let's just wait lah, let's just maybe not now, maybe next a few years, maybe soon I will do it. But what are you waiting for? What kind of sign um, are you delaying your plan? This is your life, your family's life, your children's life that is at stake, um, and it should be um, your responsibility to take care of it. So I always speak to the youth. Whenever I do my gengsubuhmacamjumaat, I would have heart-to-heart sessions with them. They would ask me. I'm not saying that I know any better. It's just that maybe you're on a different phase of life, and eventually they would come up to that point as well. So you share just like a brother to a brother to a brother. You want to share your experience and hoping that they would decide good things and make right decisions, so that everything they do will eventually help them when they are old, or when they are sick, or even when they are gone, for them to help, and as a family man, as my parents taught me, and how I would tell my parents as well, you always have to take care of each other. And once you're taking care of your family, then your neighbors, and then the whole community. So, but it all starts from you.
All right. If I might add, in the age of TikTok trend, also like instant gratification, how do we get the younger generation to take something like long-term legacy planning seriously?
Oh God, they did a survey on this, that they asked Malaysians that do they think that financial planning or protection is important. 65% said yes. But out of that 65, only 15% are protected. So the other 85, they are not. So yeah, it's scary, In my line of work, also, there's not many people have that kind of awareness. Probably they do have the awareness, but they don't know how, or they don't know when to start. So how to start is very easy. No, when to start is very easy. You can start now. And get advice from the right people, financial planners, and also here at Sun Life Malaysia, they have advisors that can advise according to the individual's lifestyle, their financial plan, their financial goals. So I always tell people that you have to start now. And doesn't matter how small, eventually it will grow. But the to reach a million mile, you have to start with that one single step.
So do you think that our generation is finally breaking the silence around death, money, and preparation, or is there still a long way to
I
go?
think there's a taboo, not really a taboo. It's just people don't really speak about it, you know. And like people, we know that there is the afterlife, but also it is our responsibility as well as a Muslim to know what we are doing now. Tanggungjawab kita dekat dunia ni. I think people are aware. People are so many are, are knowledgeable on these things. I may not be. I am also figuring things out at the same time, getting protected and investing in every single thing. You know, I always say the first step is to start saving and then invest, and then you protect your legacy. Um, I think people are, there's so many podcasts and shows, and there's so many content creators that are sharing their ilmu and their information. But it's for us to also get the right information, the right advice, so that we don't make bad choices for our lives. Because by the end of the day, we are the one being responsible, and we have to take control of our lives. So I hope that there will be more programs and content creators to speak about this and create more awareness, um, especially for the youth, to prepare themselves for the future.
So if I can touch a bit about Geng Subuh Macam Jumaat tu,
Uh-huh.
as widely known in 2023, the Geng Subuh Macam Jumaat campaign that you spearheaded created like a remarkable phenomenon. So looking ahead, where do you see Geng Subuh Macam Jumaat is going?
Oh, it's definitely a phenomena. When it all started, we tried to get the youth to the mosque and trying to turn, not trying to turn, to make the mosque not just a place of worship, but also for the community to learn as well. Um, and there was a recent activity or a campaign that we did recently with myself and Sun Life Malaysia during Ramadan. We did a campaign, Baju Raya Lama Baru, that we call everyone to come and donate their old baju raya to our pickup stations, and then we would donate it to unfortunate kids. And Alhamdulillah, we had 2 tons of materials that was changed into new baju raya. So that's a sign that all Malaysians, and the best part is there's not only the Muslims, you know, even non-Muslims, everyone with different backgrounds chip in into the campaign, and that's the true spirit of Malaysia. That's what we want, and and that's a sign that, you know, there's a spirit of togetherness, doing something together. And as for Geng Subuh Macam Jumaat, you want to encourage more people to come on board and stay consistent with their routine and spread awareness on um, being positive as a community and as Malaysians.
So you did something like meaningful without needing it to be flashy. What do you want young people to know about the power of doing something quietly, consistently, and sincerely?
Of course, oh, that's a very good question. The small things matter, and the little things that you do, it may look small or not important just because you're nobody or you feel like you're nobody. But if 7 billion people said that, then you won't get things done. You know, if you want to do something good, do it now. Don't hesitate, and it will come back to you. Goodness will come back. If you do well, goodness will come your way, inshallah.
So I think that brings us to end of today's discussion. Mr. Alif, it has been an honor to have you
Thank
with
you.
us. Thank you for your valuable insight and also for sharing your journey with us. So to our audience, we hope this discussion have been like both inspiring and also enlightening. So if you have any questions or thoughts, don't hesitate to share them in the comments below. And before we sign off, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to Sinardaily Daily for more engaging discussion on topics that truly matter. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you in the next episode. Take care and stay safe. Assalamualaikum and goodbye.
Assalamualaikum. Bye bye.